Hey there, thank you so much for clicking into this video. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Saudi Arabia. I just came from Saudi Arabia not too long ago. And I want to talk about the visa process. And that is what this video is going to be about. Obviously, again, I tried to utilize my UK visa for this process. And I'm going to tell you all about it. First of all, I tried the eVisa. Did it work? Nope. And then I tried the visa on arrival. Did that work? Indeed, it did. But I'm going to take you through all the processes so that you can have an idea in case you want to go to Saudi Arabia. So let's get into it. So, as you obviously will get to know, I traveled to Saudi Arabia. Yay! On a UK visa. Yes, I did that again. Remember how we did that with Serbia? Yes, I did the same. I applied the same knowledge for the Saudi Arabia visa. It was not as straightforward as the Serbia one, unfortunately. I wanted to get an eVisa so that when I get there, I already have my visa on me. However, that was not successful for me. I waited for it until travel day. In fact, I traveled still waiting, as I had already applied. I'm going to take you through that process. Maybe what we need to just know is give them more time. I expected it to be out within 48 hours. That's what the internet told me, but it took longer than 48 hours. I am blabbering because I need to take you through the process on its own. But this one, I was just trying to tell you what I ended up using. I ended up using the visa on arrival, which is good. At least they had both options for people who have Schengen visas, US visas, and UK visas on their passports if they're Kenyans. Because, of course, I'm talking from my experience as a Kenyan citizen. So, yes, I ended up traveling regardless. And I was granted entry into the country. So that is amazing. And I'm going to take you through the process of how I got my visa, or how I attempted to get my visa. I know you can get your visa, you just had to wait. In fact, I got my visa. They sent me my visa, but I was already on my way back. I know. I got my visa when I was already back in the country after I had already traveled to Saudi Arabia, enjoyed myself there. Yes, and then they sent me my eVisa on email. So I'm going to take you through the process of the eVisa. Just know that you need to have a little bit more time in terms of application. I don't know what the time period is. I felt like they keep a lot of the information. But actually, let's get into the video and then I'm going to tell you all about it. So here goes how it started. The Saudi Arabia trip was quite fast. We went to Jeddah, first of all. We went to the beach. It was June. It was my birthday month. So there's all those nice things around there. The decision to travel was quite fast. It was like, let's travel to Saudi. Yes, you're going to Saudi. Of course, I knew I had the advantage of my UK visa. So it was easy to go ahead and start planning the Saudi Arabia trip. As soon as we knew we were traveling to Saudi Arabia, we started getting the flight tickets. I knew it was going to be a straightforward visa process again because I'd done a little research on the visa process for Saudi Arabia for people who already have UK, US, and Schengen visas in their passports that are valid and they have used for at least one entry into the country that gave them the visa. Remember, we talked about that in the Serbia visa. I'm going to tag the Serbian visa story over here so that you have an idea of those nitty-gritties, the conditions you need to have before traveling to a new country. We knew that was going to be easy for us to get, so we bought our flight tickets. And then I was like, next, I think got the flight tickets on a Friday. No, or maybe a Tuesday. And I wanted to go and get the visa on Thursday, knowing that you're traveling the next week on Friday, the next week on Friday. Actually, I got my flight ticket for Saturday very early in the morning. So midnight Friday, early Saturday morning. All this was in a span of a week. So tickets were bought on Tuesday. I wanted to chill on Wednesday because I knew it was going to be a straightforward 48-hour. That's what the internet said. It's going to be a 48-hour release document. So I wanted to chill on Wednesday and then go to the embassy on Thursday and get myself sorted Thursday, Friday. And then by Monday next week, we have my visa, right? Because it's 48 hours. Did it go like that? First of all, it was Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha, the holiday was starting that Friday. I did not have that in mind at all during the whole planning in my head, yeah? So as soon as I saw that, I said, on Wednesday we have to head over to the embassy and reach out to them and ask them the process of getting the visa, because there was nothing much on the internet. They seem to keep that information a lot, which is unfortunate, because this information should be out here, especially for tourist visas, so that we can know how to go about visiting their country. They've opened it up. Actually, yeah, that's one of the reasons why we decided to go to Saudi Arabia. They recently opened it up for tourists to visit and tour their country. It has not always been a touristy destination, but they've started opening up to people like us who want to just tour and not go to work, because usually if you hear Saudi Arabia, you hear work. You think work. In fact, when I was in the plane and my next neighbor was there sitting, asking me, oh, so what's taking you there? Are you going to work? And I'm like, no, I'm going on holiday. So it's not very common for people to go to Saudi Arabia for tourism. Maybe that's why, again, the information is not as it should be or as of yet, but I hope they improve on that. That was a mouthful, but yes, you get what I mean. So I decided to go to the embassy on Wednesday, reached there in good time. They didn't allow me to enter. But I gave them my passport and showed them that I have this UK visa in it. My US visa had expired at that time. We're going to talk about my US visa because I renewed it, and I'm going to tell you all about that soon. Maybe in the next month or so. Next month, yeah? Next month. I'm going to tell you about my DES 160. But for now, I'm digressing. I need to talk about Saudi Arabia. So I went to the embassy. The security people told me that you can't enter here without an appointment. And I was like, okay, fine. That's neither here nor there. What I need is a visa. How do I go about it? And he asked me for my passport. I gave them my passport. They went in with it. And then they came back out. And when they came back out, also I went over lunchtime. So I think if you want to go to that embassy, go in the morning. I feel like they're more productive in the morning than in the afternoon. But regardless, I went over lunchtime. People were actually having lunch. Like they were going for lunch. The security guards and everyone else were going to serve lunch. You could see them with their sufurias going to get food. That was nice. At least they're provided for with very good food. They came back with their plates and they had chicken and rice, and it smelled really nice. Must be nice for them. So yes, it was over lunchtime. So they had me sit down somewhere and wait. I took a video. I'm going to put it here just now. Hi. I am in the process of applying for a visitor's visa to the Saudis. I am at their embassy over here. They've guided me on some online thing, but that online thing is not working, and that's, I think, why I decided to present myself here, because there's little to no information on the internet of how to get a visitor's visa to Saudi. So I'm going to do all this work and then I'm going to share it with you. You're welcome. So yeah, I'm here waiting to see how I'll be assisted. They said if it doesn't log in, they'll come and assist me. Unfortunately, I've come over lunchtime, so people are out for lunch. Let's wait and see how that will be solved, hopefully soon. My flight is for next Friday. It is Wednesday today, and this Friday is a holiday, so we don't have so much time. Yeah. I found the embassy not too helpful, sadly, so to speak. So I'm gonna go the agent route, because time is of essence. I'm traveling next week, like I said earlier, so I don't have time to do too much research. So I'll get an agent to see if we can solve this immediately. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. But they say whatever you're going through, eat fast. So I'm over here trying to get a meal. Yeah, and then figure out that situation after. Yes, and then I waited for them to get back to me, and then they came back out and told me to log on to this website. So I logged onto the website, tried to work on it on my phone because I hadn't carried my laptop, and it was not responsive. It was getting to a place and then it's it just gets stuck. It just loads forever. Nothing progressive was happening. So I came back to them. Now I had to wait until they were done with their lunch, I think. Yeah, I waited for a long time, for like an hour. And then I came back to them and told them the website is not working. And he was like, yeah, you go home, figure that website out. That is where people apply for visas. We don't give visas without people applying on there. I was like, okay, that's fine. That's easy. It's an eVisa if there's a website, because there's no website. When you're searching directly on the internet, you couldn't really get to the website. So at least they gave me a good link that could direct me to the right website. I'm going to put the website over here and I'll show you the process. I took a few screen recordings of how I went about the application. In fact, let's do it together. So I searched visasaudi.com. Or was it? Yeah, visasaudi.com, which loaded for a minute. And then this came up. I don't know if it was my internet that was slow or their website was slow. I would blame their website because clearly, even when I was using it on my phone, it wasn't working so well. Anyway, it came up, and as you can see, that is what I was able to see. And then I went through those steps. Obviously, I was trying to get the eVisa this time. So they were saying apply online, then make an online payment, and then you check your inbox. It seemed very straightforward, right? As you can see, it looks very, very straightforward to go about this application. Was it that straightforward? It wasn't in the end. Of course, here you can read and see that every traveler who wishes to visit Saudi Arabia needs an eVisa for Saudi to cross the KSA border. eVisa for Saudi is issued for tourism purposes only. Citizens of the Gulf region, of course GCC, as well as the citizens of legal residents of Saudi Arabia are exempted from visa obligations. Must be nice for them. 49 countries are allowed entrance under the condition of having a Saudi Arabia visa permit. Find a full list of the countries eligible for an eVisa to enter Saudi Arabia and see if you can apply online for an eVisa to cross the Saudi border. And then, of course, as you can see, those are the countries that are eligible for this. Kenya is not one of them, but the visa of one of those countries help us at the end of the day. So at least we have that to our advantage. And these are the payment methods. You can see Visa, Amex, MasterCard, Discover, all those payment options, PayPal, Union Pay. I thought it was Western Union. Yes, but all those payment options are there for you to utilize accordingly. I went on this website, as you can see, visasaudi.com, and scrolled up, or is it scrolled down? I scrolled along and then clicked on visa regulations to have an idea on what I am expected to do. They asked me for my nationality. I put Kenya. And then they asked me to choose one of the following. I chose I am a US, UK, or Schengen resident or business. Or I think it also said something about me having the visa of that country, which is clearly my case. I had a visa for UK. As soon as you enter that information, this is the information that comes up, that there are the 3 visa types available to choose from. I wanted the eVisa as opposed to the visa on arrival. And this was the information they were telling me, that it's going to cost me 39.44 Riyadh, which is about 10.50 USD. And then the visa price will be 80 USD, which was gonna make this a total of 90.5 USD. Yeah. And then of course not included was a medical insurance, which they expected you to choose. So my total came to around 108. We'll see at the end of the day, but it kept adding up. The cost kept adding up, but this was the initial price. Of course, I read the requirements, talking about first-time visitors. This is your first time entering Saudi using a visa based on Schengen, UK or US permit. Please ensure your Schengen, US or UK visa permit is still valid. Your visa must be a business or tourist visa. Your visa must have an entry stamp from the issuing country. Remember, we talked about this in the Saudi video. In the Serbia video, we talked about making sure that you go to the country that issued you the visa first before you start using it to enter other random countries that didn't issue you the visa. So yes, that is there. And then, of course, for returning visitors, if you have previously used your Saudi visit visa, which is going to be my case going forward, it says if you have previously used your Saudi visit visa or enter Saudi Arabia and your Saudi visa is still valid, you do not need to verify the validity of your Schengen, US or UK visa or permit. All visitors, your passports must be valid for at least 6 months beyond the date you entered Saudi Arabia. So yes, you need to have a valid passport when you're trying to apply for any visa, and most of the visa regulations say that it has to be at least 6 months in validity. So it's gonna expire 6 months after you leave that country you're planning to go to. So for example, if you're applying to go to any country really, or on 30th of June, for example, it's an example, and you're applying on 1st of May, your visa should not be expiring before 30th of December. Yeah, because that will be 6 months in. Yes, so basically what they're saying, it has to be 6 months older once you leave the country that you're applying the visa for. Let's use the example of the US. Usually they give you a visa for 5 years, but they give you validity into the country for 6 months. So imagine if your passport is gonna expire before the validity of your stay in the country. That's why they insist on the fact that it needs to have at least 6 more months life in it before you decide to use it for this particular visit that you're planning to go for. Yeah, so that's what that page entailed. It gave us an idea of what we need to know, the requirements, etc. You can pause and read. Frequently asked questions was not relevant to us at the moment, but you can always go through it if you need more of that information. So I definitely went ahead and clicked on applying for the visitor's visa, and I put in my purpose as tourism and my nationality as Kenyan to see the visas I'm eligible for. We already had that in the previous slide, but I feel like they wanted to emphasize. They asked us about the drop down that applies to us. Obviously, it's the US Schengen country visa. I entered at least once, and then asked for them to show me eligibility, and they told me I am eligible for a transit visa, an eVisa, or a visa on arrival. Of course, for the two, you have to apply online. For the visa on arrival, you can get it once you get to the country. And this is where they took me. They asked me to log in. I had my email over there and password. I was redirected. They sent me a code on my email, which I put to verify my email is accurate. The verification was successful, and here I was going into the application itself. Oh my goodness, this is how bad this website was. It wasn't the best. I wouldn't say it was a good website, but it kept asking me for things that it hadn't given me yet. I don't have a visa number, obviously. This is basically how that form looked like, the one I applied with online. It had all that information. You can pause to scroll through it. I didn't go through it again because I'd already done this already. So of course, fill in your details, expected date of arrival, 14th of June, from Nairobi by air. I was going to Jeddah, so that airport over there, King Abdulaziz, and he told me to go next. Then he asked for my personal information, which I filled in over there. My name, middle name is optional, so I went to the last one. Put in my current phone number in Kenya, and then I put my email address. This was a dummy, so I was using my email address as is in the public domain, and my phone number as is in the public domain, obviously. I'm female and I'm single, and I have a job title. I was born on 29th of June 2019. I was born on 29th of June 1991, which I indicated there. I put in my date of birth as indicated. I am non-Muslim. Also, there was something about Umrah, which was happening around this time, so it was important for us to have that information put up. And then they asked me to upload a headshot of myself, which I did. And then it took me to the next place where I needed to upload my passport information, I put in my biodata information and my passport number as requested, and the country of issuance, which is Kenya, pretty much what the passport biodata talks about, really. They asked me to put in my residence information, pretty much that UK visa information or your Schengen visa information or your US visa information. I put in my UK visa because it's what I currently had that was valid, and whatever other information that fell into that. I will not go into the details because it's not relevant for this video, but at least you have an idea of what exactly it is that they need. And obviously there's all those other things that you need to fill in, and then it will take you to your payment page, which you will end up paying a certain amount of money. I will see if I had screenshots of those payments, and then I'll show it to you. And then you wait. And this is how you start tracking your process. And this is what I was trying to do to see if my visa has been approved and where I can get it. Because they said check your inbox, right? Remember when we were looking at the steps, it was apply, make payments, check your inbox. I checked my inbox for days on end and nothing was coming up. So I kept going to the website which I used to apply and try and see if my visa has been approved, because it's straightforward, right? And this was what I kept finding. This is how I went to it. I logged into the visa place. I put in my nationality as before, Kenya, and then I go to apply now so that it can redirect me to the ksavisa.sa platform, where now they ask for my application or visa number and my ID number or passport number. Of course, you have to put in those two informations plus the captcha, just to confirm that you're not a robot, like so. And that's what kept coming up. Nothing substantial. They were not confirming whether or not my visa has been completed or not. Yep. Did I mention that the other challenge I had when I left the embassy was they told me they're going on holiday because it was Eid al-Adha. It was that holiday and it was going to be a long weekend. They said they're not going to be in the office from Thursday, the next day, to Wednesday, the next week. So that meant that I only had 2 days to try and process my visa before Saturday, Saturday very early in the morning when I'm traveling. So pretty much Friday evening. So they advised me to go back on Wednesday very early in the morning, which I attempted to do, hoping that I'll get a solution. In between that time, I had made my application online and I had paid. They deducted money from my account. Obviously, it was not the Nairobi embassy that did that, but I would call it an agent. It's an agency, but online, an online agency that helped me with application of my visa. And now, of course, I was going to go to my Nairobi embassy to give me the visa themselves and maybe also go through some of my paperwork in case they needed to. So on Wednesday, I woke up very early, went to the embassy place. I think I made it there by noon. The security people are very helpful, guys. They really want to make you get what you need to get. They're very good with their customer care service. However, I feel like the people who are inside the embassy, they don't want to work. It felt like they don't want to work. Maybe they do, but it felt like they don't. It felt like they had this laissez-faire attitude where if someone does come 1 minute later, it's like, let them come tomorrow, as if everyone has tomorrow to waste, you know? Like, for example, me, I mean, they already said, let them come tomorrow. Last week, I came, and then I think I made it there by noon, and now the other argument was, oh, you need to be here by 8. They see people with these issues from 8 to 9, they call them inquiries. They see people with inquiries from 8 to I think 10. So you came in late, so we can't really assist you in that. But we'll forward you to the VSF office, which is in Westlands. And I was like, okay, fine. I guess at this point, that's the only solution I have. Of course, the lady was so helpful. She gave me a contact. The number, she gave me a number for the consulate. I'm going to write it down here. She gave it to me over there while I was at the embassy at the entrance on this Wednesday and told me to try and call it. I tried calling it. It was Mteja. Kept saying, if you want Arabic, and then, no, it was actually just hanging up. I tried calling it later is when it was talking about, if you want to hear this in Arabic or English, press this number. But the first day I was calling it, it hangs up immediately. So it was like, already closed for service. No one was gonna pick that call. because clearly it was past their time for that particular service. I felt like it's quite a hectic process working with people who they just don't want to help you, so to speak. I went to the Westland side, and at the entrance, I told the guards that I want to go to the Saudi Arabia desk. They told me that they're also on break, that they're not there at all. Even if I go up the stairs, I will not be able to find that Saudi Arabia desk because they're not there. And that's when I decided, okay, fine, I have tried my best to get this eVisa, but it's proving difficult. I'm traveling on Friday evening. I need to focus on other things like hair, nails, all those other preparations when it comes to travel that I had not even started working on, because I was waiting on this visa that was not yet on my hands. And I was not too sure, am I getting it? Am I not getting it? And if I don't get it, I have bought these flight tickets, I have paid for accommodation. You know, all these other things have been done. Everything else is all systems go apart from this visa, which I was told was going to be a very easy process, but it's proven to be quite frustrating and difficult. Anyway, so I decided, okay, I'm going with Eva. Eva is from Kenya. She also has this UK visa that I also have. So whatever she's going to do is what I'm going to do. So I called her and she said she's working with visa on arrival. I said, okay, fine, I guess I'm going to do the visa on arrival too. And that's how I decided to let the eVisa rest and focus on visa on arrival. Obviously, I had paid money. I needed to now write to them and tell them to cancel my application. But I didn't do that before I arrived, just in case they would have processed it by Saturday when I was landing in Saudi Arabia. So this is how I ended up getting my visa on arrival instead of my eVisa. I got onto a flight. Of course, the tickets were already bought. I got into my flight. At JKA, there was no one asking any questions, which was it was good. What did they ask me? They asked me if I have a visa. I said I have my UK visa. They looked at my UK visa. They saw that it was valid and they granted me my boarding pass. So it was easier than the last time with the Serbia situation. I feel like this other person knew what they needed to do, which was amazing. There was nothing. There was no questions whatsoever. It was like, oh, I know if you have this UK visa, you can get to Saudi Arabia on arrival. So here goes your boarding pass. Did they ask for any paperwork? No. Did they even ask for my accommodation? No, they did not. They didn't ask for anything. Maybe they just exempted me from all that, but it's also still important to carry all that paperwork. Before traveling, I had gotten my medical insurance. I had also gotten my travel insurance, obviously. I had gotten my bank statements for 6 months, just in case, because obviously they were proving difficult in Kenya. I wasn't so sure what I was going to expect when I actually land into their country. So I carried my bank statements for 6 months for my current accounts. And I had also carried a few savings accounts to show them that I can support myself financially when I'm in this country and also when I leave this country. And I had also I didn't carry too much. I carried my bank statements. I carried my medical insurance. I carried my accommodation reservations. And I also carried my return ticket flight. My flight out of Jeddah, out of Saudi Arabia, I had carried that as well. So those were the 4 documents that I had carried with me. The JKA people did not ask for that. So they gave me my boarding pass. I went and boarded my flight. Also, again, maybe another argument was it was a 3 a.m. flight, 2 a.m. flight. It was 2 a.m. It was a 2 a.m. flight. So maybe they were tired. They were quite tired. They just wanted that flight to go. Maybe it was even the last flight that was leaving JKA at that time. Or maybe it was their last shift. I don't know. It's worked in my favor anyway. So I boarded the flight. I landed in Jeddah the same day, early in the morning. I went straight to the visa area. There was a visa on arrival kind of lounge, which we were directed to. In fact, I think I asked one person, I was like, I can only see visas and I don't have a visa just yet. What do I do? And this guy told me, just come this direction. And I went that direction. And there was a very pretty, nice lounge area for people like us who didn't have a visa but needed a visa on arrival. And I sat down and I told this lady, there was a lady there. I don't know who they are. I don't know if of course, they're passport control people. But my question is, are they consular people or not? I don't know. I've never experienced a visa on arrival before. This was my first one. So that was cool. It's a cool experience to experience. Has a little bit of the nerves if you're not too sure of situations, but at least I had the idea that I could get that visa. The website, as you have seen, said that I was eligible for a visa on arrival. So at least I had that assurance in my heart of hearts. Yeah. So I sat down there. She looked at me. I told her I had made an application online. I don't know if we have the visa on the system. Please check that before we start the process of getting me a visa on arrival. So she asked me for my passport. I gave her my passport. She said, Grace, or I think usually they call me Miss Ekambi, we are looking at the data and we don't have any records of you. I said, okay, that's fine. I guess we have to apply for a visa on arrival. And she was like, yeah, sure, no problem. It's gonna be this amount of money, which I can't remember how much it was, but I'm gonna put a screenshot of how much it was in Kenya shillings. It was around 14,000 Kenya shillings. I'm gonna put a screenshot here or just write the figure over here, depending with what I feel while I'm editing this video. So I gave her my card and she swiped it and got her money, the 14,000 shillings, which was pretty straightforward. And as soon as that was done, she wrote on my passport. I'm not going to show it to you because there's so much to this information and I'm not so sure. But she didn't like give me a visa, like a sticker with my visa or something. It was just a written visa. It's like a gentleman's agreement that I will always be on their system for this period of time. So she wrote tourist visa for 1 year and then a few numbers over there. So I guess when someone needs to see if I have the tourist visa, they search these numbers and my visa will pop up on their system for the next year, for the next 365 days from the day of entry, which again is in Arabic. Let me see if I can hide stuff to just show it to you. Because no, how can I do that? How can I hide stuff without showing you too much? Yeah, I guess that will help you see something. Yeah, that's what they wrote. Then there's some digits there that I'm not gonna show you. Yes, that's how I ended up getting my visa and I was granted entry into the country. Welcome, pilgrims and visitors. This is Grace Ekambi. I am reporting live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And I have the visa for a year. So that is my visa, Saudi Arabia visa story. I don't know if there's any gems over here to advise you on, but let me think about it and then we can address that for the next section of this video and then we conclude. Yeah. What I think is important to mention is I did not get asked for any documents, but it's important to just carry those paperwork, just in case. The paperwork that I had carried for the JKI people and the visa on arrival people that they didn't end up asking for, it's just important to carry them just in case. So it's important to have your bank statements, it's important to have your accommodation confirmations, it's important to have medical insurance. At least for the Saudi Arabia, they are very adamant about that. Even when I was applying for the eVisa, they made me pay some amount of money for the medical insurance. So it's important to have medical insurance. Coverage with travel insurance, it's cheaper that way. So it's important to also have a card that has money that you're going to use to pay for this visa at the visa desk. And obviously, it's important to have that UK, Schengen, US visa that is valid. And a passport that, again, is valid for 6 months after your visit in Saudi Arabia. Sawa. Cool. Lessons learned, if any. Why would I? The path of least resistance will be to just go to the country and get a visa on arrival. Obviously, with a weaker passport, you have a little bit of jitters because there are countries where they do not grant you that visa on arrival based on their discretion, really. So it's always easy and you feel more at peace when you travel out of your country with assurance that you're going to be granted entrance into that other country. So if you have an eVisa, obviously the assurance is more than when you're going to the country to get a visa on arrival. But for Saudi Arabia, guys, just go for the visa on arrival. If you have the UK visa, the US visa, or the Schengen visa in your passport, that is valid, because it is more straightforward. It's easier that way. It has less hassles and bustles. You don't have to go to the embassy in Kenya. You don't have to pay money. You don't have to upload any documents online. You just show up with your passport and you get your visa and stamp right there and then. So why would I not do that the next time, based on the foregoing when it comes to visa on arrival Saudi Arabia edition? That would be the best lesson I'll learn, that I would rather use visa on arrival in Saudi Arabia than do the eVisa process for Saudi Arabia. Any day, anytime. Any day, anytime, baby. Any day, anytime. I would also put a caveat over here. Obviously, if you are not doing a last minute trip and you have plenty of time, go for the eVisa, because obviously it gives you peace of mind, like I said earlier, when you're traveling and you know with assurance that you have your visa with you already. If you have time, go for the eVisa. It's not hectic, it just takes a little bit of time. Did I mention that they sent me my eVisa on email? They did. It came when I was back in the country of Kenya, when I was done with Saudi Arabia, when I had already enjoyed everything over there. Like, they have no urgency of time, those people. They have their time. It's fine. But I got it. I got my eVisa. Even after I had already written an email to them telling them that I need to cancel this application. Immediately I came back, I wrote an email telling them, hi, thank you so much for trying to attend to my visa. I will look for the screenshot and put it over here. However, I ended up getting my visa on arrival on this particular date. And I am kindly asking you to stop the process of my eVisa because I don't need it anymore. And also, please refund me my money. It was around 14,000 as well. Please refund me this amount of money as soon as you're able to. And they replied saying that they will refund me within 45 days. So that's good. I don't know if 45 days are done yet. We'll wait and see. If they send me the money, yay. I hope they do, but I will not hold my breath. Money always comes. As long as you've spent it joyfully in yourself, it will always come back. So I've let it go. If it comes, yay. So they said that they will refund my money. They gave me the eVisa in the end, but it took a little bit of time. Obviously, the lessons there will be, if you have a lot of time and you're not planning to travel to Saudi immediately like I was, work with the eVisa. It will still come out, and also avoid their holidays, so to speak. Maybe it will help with things going a little bit faster than if their holidays affecting the process here and there, as was the case with mine. So to end this video, if you are a Kenyan with a UK visa, with a US visa, with a Schengen visa in your passport that is valid, don't sleep on it. Do not sleep on your visa that you've paid a lot of money for. Guys, you paid a lot of money for this UK visa. US visa is actually more affordable this time, which was impressive. We're going to talk about the US visa soon, like I said earlier. But UK visa, US Schengen visa, if you have those visas and they're valid, don't sleep on them. Use them, utilize them, make them give you more access to the countries apart from the countries that you're going to. Yeah, some of them are free, like Serbia was free. I didn't pay any extra shilling. Saudi was not free, but it was easier compared to someone who does not have any of those visas in their passports already. Because I know a few people who we were hoping to travel with that had to abort mission because the time was short and the documents that were required for them were a lot. I guess that's it. Is there anything else I need to mention? Saudi is beautiful. That's what I think I can mention. They have beautiful people. It was amazing. The food, we had good food. I don't think we had a lot of Arabian cuisine as I would have hoped for, but the food was still good. The country is beautiful. The people are very nice. We're going to start that series next weekend. So stay tuned. Enjoy the whole series of Saudi Arabia. I traveled from Nairobi to Saudi, and then Saudi, and by Saudi I mean Jeddah, and then from Jeddah to Dubai, and then to Uganda. It was a big round trip for my birthday. So stay tuned. I have a lot of content that is waiting to be watched by you. If you have any questions about the eVisa or the visa on arrival for Saudi Arabia, feel free to ask on the comments below. Also, if you want to pick my brain a little bit about these visas, I have the chat with me, the link on my bio. You book a call with me and then we can have a conversation about your visa. Is it jitters when it's going to the consulate to talk about your visa application with the consular people? Is it the application process? Is it the documents that are required? Is it that you don't know how to draft a particular document? Book a call. Let's have a conversation, see what is there that we can talk about to help make this process easier for you in the long run. Yeah, I think that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking and for subscribing. I will see you next weekend. Have a beautiful, beautiful one. Bye-bye.